Hey, today is Monday, April the 13th. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Today is the day after Easter Sunday. Now, I know yesterday was not the day we had hoped for, we had expected, we had planned. You know, being a pastor, Easter is one of those Sundays that the church is filled, and it's great to see, and it gives us energy and excitement, and Easter Sunday is one of those great days of the year. And I know many of you are hoping to see family on Easter Sunday, and rather than sitting down with them and enjoying Easter lunch, you are having to Zoom with them or see them over FaceTime or some other type of virtual means. No, yesterday was not the day we had hoped for, but you know what? I'll let you in on a secret. Jesus Christ is still risen. That fact has not changed. Christ the Lord is alive. He rose again from the dead, and because of that, we too, you, have hope that when you walk in faith, you too will live eternally. Now, I'm outside in the mountains once again, and I want to ask you a question. I'm guessing the answer is no, but maybe it's yes. Have you ever experienced an earthquake? Now, I'm from Nebraska, and I know many of you who are watching this are West Virginians. And these are not two places that typically experience earthquakes, are they? And yet, I know that where I stand right here in Morgantown, in the Appalachian Mountains, used to be a hotbed for both volcanic activity and multiple earthquakes, beginning about 1 billion years ago. The land where I stand, the plates underneath me started to rub up against each other, and volcanoes started to erupt, and the Appalachian Mountains were formed. As I understand it, when these mountains were first built up, they were much taller. In fact, they stood about the height that the modern-day Rockies now stand. And even though they've been eroded down over the millions of years since they first formed, these are still beautiful hills and a beautiful place to live. Now, did you know that there is a very important earthquake that takes place in the Bible? Did you know that? In fact, this earthquake takes place right after Jesus' death on the cross. And the Bible passage I want to read to you talks about that earthquake. And so if you've got a Bible, feel free to follow along with me. But I'm going to be reading from Matthew, the 27th chapter, beginning in verse 50. Then Jesus cried out again with a loud voice, and he breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. Now, I want to stop right there. Why did that curtain in the temple, the place where people worship, why was it torn in two? Well, that's symbolic, because before Jesus Christ, people like me and people like you would have to go through priests, offer sacrifices in order to have access to God. But because of Jesus, because of his faithfulness, we no longer have to go to anybody. That you can go straight to God in your prayer, straight to God with any request that you have. That curtain has been torn in two. The earth shook. The rocks were split. The tombs also were opened. And many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After Jesus' resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly this man was God's Son." Now, I think that reaction, the centurion and the guards being terrified, that was natural. What they had just seen take place, this man die on the cross, and the minute he takes his last breath, the earth starts to shake. there's an earth shake happening. And not only that, but there's a very strange encounter where people are risen along with Jesus from their tombs, the saints who have gone before them, and they go into Jerusalem and they appear to people. And we're not exactly sure if that was only momentary or exactly what happened there, but what a terrifying sight to behold, especially for those people who had just put Jesus to the death. And yet this moment when Jesus took his last breath was our moment of freedom, was the moment that the devil, the moment that all the forces of evil in this world lost their ultimate power, lost their grasp, their hold over us. When Jesus died and the earth shook, it was the earth signifying that once and for all, the God of all creation had won the battle. We human beings had been under the devil's captivity since the time of Adam and Eve. Sin had its grasp over us. Sin had the ultimate and the final say over our lives and over our eternal state. But after Jesus Christ came and he took his last breath and the ground shook, it was the moment of victory. It was the moment that God finally said, no more death, no more sin. I am reclaiming my beloved sons and daughters, my people who call me by my name, my people who strive to walk in my path. May you be blessed the Monday after Easter. May you get outside. It's a beautiful morning. May you get out and give God, the Creator, and Jesus, the Son, who won the battle over sin for us, may you praise them and give them thanks today and always. Amen.